work session, May 10th. Roll call, please. Jeffrey.
Commissioner Byrd.
Here.
Commissioner Davenport.
Here.
Councilmember Joyce. Commissioner Lovelady. Commissioner Lowry.
Here.
Commissioner McCullough. Commissioner Turk. Commissioner Whitehead.
Here.
Chairman Turner.
Here. All right, are there any citizen comments for today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. As I see no zoning cases or subdivision cases, it looks like the only item for discussion today is the comprehensive plan. So with that, Ms. Samara, I looked over what you sent, I was very impressed.
Okay, and that's just generally, this was my question, was there any comments, questions, concerns? Does it look like it's going in the right direction? I just wanted to just very informally kind of get your thoughts.
If y'all have a question, I'll pull it up.
And so, while Jeffrey's pulling it up, we did meet on Wednesday of last week, and we kind of went through each section. We've already identified some of the grammatical errors and things like that, so we've already kind of gone through that. But just in general, if there was anything that you all wanted to add, if you've seen anything in other plans, those are the kind of comments that
I had a question about generality.
Okay.
Do we keep all of the information general on what we've done to come up with, you know, like the sections about the survey?
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed we didn't get too specific, and we didn't really report on, you know, findings or what our takeaway was from the survey.
Right.
We kept it very general. Is that what most cities do?
It really just depends on kind of what you want. I think that we can add more information about the survey, especially since I feel like you all's response was really good. And so I do think that we can kind of get in more depth in kind of what we got back and then make inferences in terms of what we need to do. So I think I was speaking to Jeffrey about we can make recommendations and then have implementation plans. And that's kind of how each section, I would like to see each section laid out. So kind of this is our goal or our recommendation, and then this is how we want to execute it. And so you'll see, or you saw in some of the sections that I had those, but they were very general because I kind of want that to come from you guys. Just because you'll know better about your city because you interact with them more than, of course, I would. So I kind of put those in as an idea, but we can get as specific as you would like.
I like the idea of doing the results of the survey. Of course, not the little small things, but just the large things like what the public said was the most important for economic development, and then how we plan to address that. What was their biggest fears or problems with the city, and then how we're going to address that.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you want to do that by department, like if it's police related, would it go into the police section, or if you just want to have a survey section and then address those things there. I don't know which one would lay out better or flow better. What do you think?
It may be better, and this is just me thinking out loud, it may be better to have the specific questions that related to each section in each chapter and just kind of say, you know, this is what the survey told us,
Right.
type thing. Because if we put it all in the introduction, it's kind of going to all be all over the place. That's just my opinion. But I mean, we can play with it and see. But I do feel like that we need to have more of your survey information. Because like I said, I've said before, I did think that you all got a great response, and the citizens should know that, you know, we actually looked at that information and, you know, took it into account. So we should add more.
This plan's going to be around for a while, and if for no other reason than posterity, we want the accountability that, hey, we listened, this is what you said, and
Right.
here's what we're doing.
Right.
I think it needs to be in there.
Right.
But I don't look at all the cities around. If they're not doing that, then I didn't want to go off
It's kind of
reservation.
broad. I mean, some people will just speak of it generally. They won't even show the statistics. But I think my personal opinion is that I liked you all's response. I mean, in some cases, people don't get 3% of the population to even respond. I think you got 10, which is good. I mean, that was impressive on our end because you rarely see that. People just don't respond. So to get that kind of number and that we can draw from, I think that in itself we want to really highlight, and really as kind of a thank you for participating, you know. So we want to see more of that.
Well, it also does, you know, it lets companies who are
Right.
looking to, know that the citizenry is interested,
Right.
will get involved to some degree and will participate. So
Right.
it's kind of like an advertisement.
Right, right.
Good point. That's a good point.
Absolutely.
Without having to, say, oh, let's toot our horn here.
Yeah,
yeah.
What about future growth as far as annexation? Because I've got that question before.
Mhm.
I've been in Semmes, been in Mobile all my life, pretty much, but I've been in Semmes for 12, 13 years.
Mhm.
And people, just know, and I'm on the planning commission, so what about annexing this or annexing that? Maybe more a question for you, is that something that we could add or I don't know if I'm even using the right words, but I've gotten that question numerous times, when are they gonna annex this, or when are they gonna, because I don't personally know what the way to do that is. I know you're not,
I think that's a good idea.
I know you're not
It
just
is a good
discussed
idea.
that.
Yeah.
It's a
Because,
good idea.
prime
Because it is a
example,
question a lot of people have.
yeah, I was on the BZA, committee for a while, and if you remember that first meeting I was in, we had about 50 homeowners sitting in here, and got
Yeah.
dark shot at us,
Yeah.
and they weren't even in the city limits.
Yeah. But most of them think that they are.
They think they are, but the adjoining property was.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Right.
We need to address that. I think it's a great place to do it, and it might be under the economic development and say,
Yeah.
Or land use.
yeah, or land use would say that, hey, the city is, reaching out, to do annexation.
Just see what the interest would be,
Yeah.
and then let them know what the benefits would be.
Yeah.
Because everybody thinks, oh, it's gonna cost me more in taxes. Well, your taxes go to the county, and then you operate off city sales tax, correct?
Right.
And most people don't know that.
I think it's a good idea.
Yes.
And just let them know that it's not something we can wave a wand and just make a perfect square. It's a
Yeah.
process, and it's a very difficult process.
Right.
Because along the way, we've all had different ideas of how we could do it, and some of those wound up not to be feasible.
Right.
So maybe,
And the Alabama League of Municipalities, kind of spells out, I think there's 3 specific ways that it has to be done, so people don't really know that either. So we may go into just the legality of the process.
I think,
You know.
I think
That's a
that would
good
be a
idea.
good education tool.
Right.
Yeah.
For the city of Semmes, people in Semmes and surrounding areas that wanna be a part of Semmes, like I'm literally could spit into Semmes from my neighborhood, but I'm not a part, I'm not in Semmes.
Right.
I fall under Semmes municipality, but not the city.
But jurisdiction.
Yeah, correct, that's what I was trying to say, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a great
That can
idea.
be added, we'll just have to see where. In my head, I'm thinking land use, maybe
Yeah.
chapter, but we can definitely
Good,
put that
good,
in
good, thank you.
there. Okay, anything else? Or we can just go chapter by chapter. The introduction, was there anything specific in the introduction? And I will say this, in terms of the layout, we're still playing kind of with the design itself. I was telling Jeffrey that, of course, in anything, people are gonna be more drawn to infographics or things that you can just kind of see the information as opposed to a lot of text. That's just
Sure.
generally how it goes. There's a saying in the planning profession that comp plans tend to just sit on the shelf because it's just, unless you're intentionally going to look to develop, and that's not what we want if we spent this much time on it. We want it to be engaging. So, I'm excited about the pictures that Ms. Joyce is gonna get for us because I know they're gonna be, top quality, and then we're gonna work on more infographics where we can, so you're not reading paragraphs.
Yeah.
That you can actually see something that's striking, but it gives you a lot of information. So here you'll see a lot of text, but as different iterations come out, what we can, change to information or, pictures or graphics, they will be changed to that. Okay? So was there anything in the introduction that stood out to you? Was there anything that was lacking? Was there anything that you didn't like, you did like? Aside from the survey information.
Well, I like that you put in the definition of what is a comprehensive plan, because a lot of people don't know what it is.
I think the next one
I'm gonna go
is
to,
the regional, historical, and environmental setting. This one is just gonna do a lot about just the place where we are. I added some of the maps. Those are not all of the maps that will be included. This will probably be a section that you'll see more infographics. We will talk about each of these, in terms of the maps that I provided, but I did just wanna kinda show you some of the things that we, were able to pull. In your actual document, it will fold out, so you'll actually be able to read it, and hopefully we'll get as close as to be able to see the street names, so it won't be as fuzzy as it is here, but I just wanted to get it on paper to kind of show you the things that we pull from census data or things that we've been able to create ourselves, at SRC, so, but we will speak about those, yes.
Page 7, at 4th, 5th,
On the history.
right down, it says, in November 1900, the Semmes Land Company of Hong Kong, and a section of land was purchased that would, it says lease park, should be Sparky.
Yeah.
Yes,
On
sir.
down, where is the city? Yeah, the city often noted there's nurseries, right there where it says thrive with, it says is, needs being, putting the ideas,
Okay.
its ability to grow. That's all, on page 8, I got one too.
Was there anything else in the history section? I know I spoke with Ms. Bird, I got your information early on, does it look better? Did I-
It does.
Okay.
I don't know if we said that much about, there were farms, you know, because we had this was a dairy farming center. There was actually where, the dairies were, milk was processed right down here at Barber's Dairy at the time. Really, the nursery and the dairies kind of came about the same time, but the nurseries.
It was dairy farming first.
Did we ever decide on these maps if they were going to live and be real time on the website, or they were a snapshot from when the comp plan was made? And whatever we get done with it, it's a snapshot then, or is someone gonna be able to come to this comp plan a year from now and the maps be accurate, like, as they get updated?
As of now, we're pulling from 2020 data, but we are working, on something called a story map, which would be an interactive version of the comp plan. And so, we actually were just working on that today, so it would be more of, she's embedding links that may send you to, the website where the topography map came from. So that may be, you know, it may be real time, and I'll have to confirm with her. So, what you'll see on paper is probably gonna be more of what, you know, from 2020 census data, but we may be able to digitally get information that will be accurate for whenever someone kind of puts that link.
I don't think you can update the maps without going through the process of updating the document, can you?
Right, no.
So
the
what, I
physical
think what you
document
put on
will
the
be-
physical document, you're stuck with until you
Right.
update it.
But if we know the source file locations of the links that the links are pointing to, you can update those files.
If, right.
So we could, you know, we could keep a
If
tab on that. I'm thinking developer,
Yeah.
some 2 years down the road, they wanna see what's going on in Semmes. We don't wanna see in 2020, we wanna
Right.
see in 22 and on, or,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking in the back of my mind.
We've got these additions off Silver Pine, these neighborhoods, you got the one that, we talked about the last meeting, I was here with Mark's fixing to start Darlington, I think. So that would, you know, obviously add more population on the road. It needs, you know, somehow, I don't know how often that will be updated or could be updated.
Right.
If we were Mobile, it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Right.
to just stay there.
Right.
But we're growing leaps and bounds, and we wanna capitalize on that. It's the only reason I even bring it up.
Mhm. I'll have to inquire, because like I said, some of the maps are, created based off census data, but I know, that's why I mentioned topography. I know she pulled that from a website, and it may be real time, you know, if we can kinda embed a link if we do it digitally. But I'll see, but that makes sense. And then we also know that comp plans are generally amended every 5 years, typically. It's not a requirement, but you know, because of course things are gonna change, so you can keep that in mind as well. But that's something that we can definitely kinda know, that we wanna keep those updated. Okay? Yes, sir.
You said you had something on page 8, Mr. Lowry?
It starts at 7,
Mhm.
it goes to 8, it says, today Semmes continue to be a pillar and support.
Mhm.
When visiting Semmes, you will find many of the landmarks that have shaped its identity. You should extend those on out to where the, know that they're still in existence. Several of them are still in existence.
Yes.
And because the, Alabama tourism is helping us with, grants and stuff, so, like the Howard House, Saturday, was dedicated in this, Alabama landmark now. It's not just.
Okay, so we've got several of those, we know they're now Alabama landmarks.
So we could list those.
That are, okay.
Yeah. What do we have, handful of them? I know the
There's
Howell House.
The Howell House, well, there's some that are in the process of doing, but I think they got them done. The 1902 school has been
Mhm.
for many years.
Yeah.
So we need to highlight those that are,
Mhm.
that have been listed.
On the school up here,
Mm-hmm.
there was one statement here I thought we might need to. It was talking about the, in the history,
Mm-hmm.
the log cabin school, and then it talks about the new site, and the original school site remains today. It means, to be clarified a little bit so you don't think it's the log cabin school. Because the log cabin school has been gone.
Is it the community established a log cabin school in the 1800s? And then the original school site remains today.
Site still remains today, but it's the 1900 school that remains today.
Not the log cabin. That's
Not the log cabin.
Okay. Anything else in this section? Okay. I think the next one was population and economy. So again, the idea is to start off kind of with the goal for this section, and then, we can make recommendations for our takeaways, because I was mentioning to Jeffrey, you know, I don't wanna just throw a lot of information at you, we wanna, what are we doing with this information? So we have a lot of statistics and a lot of data here, but what did we learn, from the data? So, like I said, you'll see a lot of tables and charts that are just kind of basic charts. Those may be changed to more information, but I just wanted to get the text out here so you can see some of the statistics that we found, so. Much of this comes from, census data, some of it we got from, Chamber of Commerce and SEBR, various departments in the city. So Any comments, questions? Was there any statistic that was surprising to you? Is there anything that you feel like should be there that's not there in terms of statistics?
No, I liked it, and I really see what you mean by infographics, catching your eye better, because I would not want to read all of that.
Right.
So
right.
we're absolutely on the right track with
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah. Because once you get to like the third page, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got you. So we're definitely gonna change that up. Okay. The last section that I gave you was recreation and facilities. Comments here was, we do recognize that I didn't add a lot of information about the parks, but we will have a parks plan. Either we'll have it identified, I don't know if you, did you get a chance?
I sent it to you about an hour ago.
Okay, okay.
That's my fault, I didn't, I just now sent it to him today.
It's okay, so we will have the parks plan actually in there, not just listed how you see it here. Also, the post office information was the last page of the, PDF and it got lost, so we do have post office there. If there are any other, recreation or facilities, any other recreation or facilities information that you feel should be added.
What about, and this is just a comment,
Okay.
a general comment on the data under analysis. What if you did that in the circle like you did the population? Just for be more attractive, I guess is what I'm saying. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
You follow me? I mean, instead of having that,
Yeah.
Mhm.
have the round with the
Pie
different
chart.
colors.
The pie chart, okay.
I don't know, that's just my opinion.
Yes, I agree.
That's a good suggestion.
I guess I would just say this is bland and that's not.
It's got the color, and if nothing else,
Exactly.
if the color catches your eye.
Exactly, exactly. And this is not, I catch you, I
Okay,
guess
that's
it's probably a
right.
better word for it, yeah.
Yeah, that's more analytical and the pie chart is more,
Yeah.
Right, straightforward.
yeah.
In that green box under, municipal park,
Okay.
I would take the under Admiral Semmes disc golf course, it's just called the Admiral disc golf course, not Admiral Semmes disc golf course.
Which one?
Under facilities, under that green box right there, under parks, that's page 3.
Okay.
And also add, outdoor fitness hub in that same little area, that's at the municipal park.
Get a picture of that in use.
Yeah,
Say that again, I'm sorry.
the outdoor fitness hub, it's the, right by the splash pad that,
Mhm.
look up.
Get the Helen and the mayor out there. Brandon.
And you said it's just called the Admiral,
Yeah, the Admiral disc golf course.
okay. Okay,
And Ms. Bird may have to be able to help with this, but eventually one of our parks is gonna be Heritage Park. So I don't know if the timing is right,
I don't know.
if that'll be in there about October or.
I just wait till the mayor tells us.
Yeah.
but is that the plan?
We can just hope for it,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, the plan is to put, Heritage Park to be
Yes.
one of the city parks, doesn't exist, of course, you know, it's the existing park
Right.
with the schoolhouse. They're in the works of the city taking that park over.
Okay, well, we can add it and say that it's, in the future.
And then, of course, you could put the address and then talk about all the things that are there,
Right.
the schoolhouse, the church, and,
Okay.
what do you call it, the country store?
The country store,
Okay, we'll definitely add that one. Okay.
And then I would, into the parks section, I know we talked about the master plan,
Mhm.
but put an excerpt or something that says the city is working with, Goodwin Mills and Kaywood, or if you wanna list their name or not, to finalize a master plan and begin, for a municipal park, and begin phasing it out for construction.
So do they have a master plan?
Yeah.
They do, and so what is GMC doing?
They helped us with the master plan, and they're gonna help us,
Just to phase it
break it
out.
out into phases, so we can begin to start budgeting for construction. And we've already started budgeting for phase 1. Actually, we've already got the money for phase 1, so we hope to, get approvals for phase 1 to start at like the end of this year, beginning of next year.
Where's that gonna be, Jason?
At the, municipal park. We're just gonna, do a few things out there in that big field to accomplish the plan. We may have to do it in 10 phases, but, you know, we get a little bit of money at a time, we're gonna try to build that park out.
Is that gonna be grants?
We're gonna try to get grants this first phase. We don't have a grant. We're gonna use some funds that some of the ARPA funds that were dedicated for parks. So we'll be able to, do some things we're talking about doing. Maybe a little dog park out there and maybe, some basketball goals, and then some parking and infrastructure, things like that. So, I don't know if I'd write that down yet, but by October, we'll definitely have an approval on what phase 1 will be.
Okay.
But I think it's important to show that we are expanding that municipal park.
Definitely.
And Jeffrey's got the graphic of it, so, well, I guess he sent it to you, so you can put
I'll
some of
take
that on
it.
there if you'd like to.
Okay.
What are some of the city services that are gonna be offered in the near future?
Yeah, I was gonna get to
We
that
wanna
one.
kinda, you know.
Now we're going along with annexation.
It would. I mean, we got it. You know,
Exactly, and that's what I was gonna comment on the
Yeah.
community services, that next,
Mhm.
paragraph. I see you talk about the governmental facilities, provide for adequate police protection, provide for adequate fire protection. And, I would make a little section like, provide, improvements and maintenance to the infrastructure inside the city limits, so like a public works type, comment. And then talk about, one of the things that we're gonna do as a goal is to provide, debris and trash removal this year.
Truck
Within-
ever come in, or?
Well, we're still waiting. It's supposed to be June. So as soon as we get our truck in, we'll start providing.
Them little
service.
chips become all so important to cars, who knew? And trucks.
Well, we'll, so hopefully that'll happen, and, I think that will help with annexation, because when that big claw trucks comes to your neighbor's yard and.
I am counting down the days. I am counting down the days.
So really, I mean, we're gonna get calls, why are they not coming to my yard, and my next door neighbor's going, well, you're not annexed.
There you go.
And so I think that'll really help. Not unless they just put their stuff in their neighbor's yard.
The whole neighborhood's gonna be in one pile.
Draw straws, who has to get
Yeah.
their
Well, you know, with the burn ban, what you supposed to do with it? I'm like, I
Right.
can only create so high of a pile, you know?
Yeah.
Burn it anyways.
Okay.
And then on the objectives, I guess they're the next page.
Mhm.
Can you roll in, Jeffrey?
Yeah. To the next page.
Yeah. All right. Objectives, to establish a new municipal building to, accommodate the needs of all departments at least cost to the city. I'm assuming that's the city hall.
Mhm.
And it also, one of the deals with that is it's gonna accommodate the needs, but it'll be like a one-stop shop for the citizens. Right now, they have to go to Public Works for permitting, they have to come to City Hall for this, so maybe write something about it, it'll be a one-stop shop.
And all the other, offices that are gonna be, you know, included.
Yeah,
you know,
pretty
whatever
much
it is,
everything will
yeah.
be there. And you do mention that somewhere else on here, but,
Yeah.
But here.
I would put it there
it's
too.
here.
And then, provide continued professional training for police and fire personnel. Maybe right there would be a good spot to talk about the new public safety complex we're building. To accommodate this objective, we're building the public safety complex that'll house a, police and fire station for the northern section of our city limits,
Okay.
providing better response time and things like that.
I don't know if you'd wanna put in there, the holding cells would be there too.
I'll let Chief talk about that. And then under governmental buildings, which is the next section, let's see. City Hall.
This did come from Element 3, right? They did these drawings?
They did the design,
Okay,
yes.
okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Um,
That they did.
City is currently in the development phases of a new city hall. You might say the city is currently, under construction.
What's the target date for completion and opening, you know?
Probably, I think the building should be done in July or early August. When I think the site and everything else, I think we're looking September-ish.
So it'll be open by the time this comes out?
Yeah, we should be fully functional by the time this comes out.
So the hope is that we will have actual pictures.
Yeah.
And I would like to show the rendering and what actually, you know.
That's a good
but,
idea,
Yeah,
too.
so we're hoping for actual pictures. That'll be added.
And then it says that the following departments are located within City Hall: Finance, Human Resources, Purchasing, Events. And then, the Planning Department, Permitting Department, Public Works Director, and Municipal Court will be located to the new building, or relocated to the new building. So just add Permitting Department.
Will that be where the city council holds their meetings as well as us, like everybody meets?
Yes, yeah, everything will be there.
Okay. I could almost walk there.
Guess it'd be business license too.
Yeah, business license as well. It kind of falls under finance, but it probably wouldn't be a bad idea, since that's a service or somewhat of a service.
I've had several people just about the passports.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just like floored. I was like, oh my gosh.
You would be surprised how many we do those a day. I mean, it's unreal the amount of
I have had
passports.
several people comment about how thankful. I mean, it's all positive, nothing negative.
Yeah.
You know, which
10
is
a
how
day?
rare is that? Nothing
They've
negative.
had up to 10 a day.
Yeah.
I didn't know that
I
many
wouldn't,
people.
I would never thought that.
I know, I wouldn't either.
Well, I think some of it has to do with this, it's easier to get the passport than it is to fool with the DMV. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
I hadn't fooled with the new system, that's new. But to
Yeah.
get that star ID is a pain in the, you know what, it's easier to get the, I mean, how horrible is it to say that it's easier to get a United States passport than a star identification, but that's
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I think they remove money.
Adding that service was really, we didn't think it was gonna be that big of a deal, but it turned out to be a really big deal adding that service. There's not many cities do that. I think
No.
City of Mobile has a place, the downtown, post office does it.
Post office, yeah.
But then you gotta go to New Orleans, I think is the next closest place to do it.
You used to go walk into Daphne, now you have to have an appointment,
Ah, okay.
but I always went to Daphne because you just walk in.
At the post office, right?
At
That's
the
where I
post
saw
office.
this.
So now that they require appointments,
How often we have to renew them?
10 years, I think.
Because y'all have it,
unless
4
you're,
years ago.
unless you're under 16, and then it's, every 3 to 5, maybe 5. When you're younger, you have to do it more often, I forget the.
And then
Because you change.
If you'll scroll down, Jeffrey, the only other thing I had in this section was, you talked about, you get the police protection section, and fire section. I think we need to add a park section and a public works section. And I'll get more information, Mayor Jeffrey will get more information on those to you.
Then this is all gonna get formatted.
Oh, yeah.
This is just, okay.
Yes, well, yes, because things are constantly moving up until the time I print it, and
Okay.
then it's like, ooh, that moved up there, so yeah, it's gonna get formatted.
Do we have a map, and I'm not saying we could necessarily put it in here, but it would probably be good information to have for the citizens if they knew where the police jurisdiction was gonna be. You know, because we assume it's city limits, but if my neighbor's in city limits and I'm not, and I call them, I mean, are they gonna come to my house or not? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because I'm sure, and that may go along, hand in hand with the annexation idea, I don't know.
I think that's a good idea to have the, PJ map on there. And also maybe, I don't know if if people do this, but like, what are we looking to, what's our expansion goals?
Yeah.
How far do we
That's a
want to
good idea,
expand out
too. Yeah.
over the next 10 or 15 years? Because people ask me all the time, are y'all coming out to here? Are y'all planning to be in Wilmer? You know, we just need to establish that boundary, whether it's Snow Road is the boundary and, Schillinger and Hal's Ferry and wherever, just kind of box it out and say, this is where we want to be.
Right.
And put it in here so the citizens know that, this is what
That we're
planning to do.
interested.
Right.
Yeah, we just haven't got there yet. We're trying to make it there.
And I have what might be a really stupid question, but under the library, it says there is no funding from the city of Semmes to the library. Is that, gonna be the way it is going into the future?
They used to get funding. They started out doing a lot of things.
Are we not still paying for Fridays?
Thought we were.
I think that's still a thing.
This is
We
just
pay
my
for
opinion.
Fridays.
I've always been a nerd, so I've always loved the library. So it bothers me that it says the city of Semmes does not provide funding to the library, and so
I don't know that that's true, actually.
Might need to, yeah. might need to
Yeah,
check
somebody
that
needs
back.
to find that out.
I will say this, I sent out, this came from, a questionnaire that was sent to the actual Semmes library, and they sent it to Mobile, to the main library.
Okay.
So I don't know, I don't even know who, I'll have to verify.
The previous mayor, actually, I know for a fact, paid them to be open on Fridays.
Yeah, they came to us and asked, would we do it? And I think the mayor said, yeah, we'll do it.
And I don't know if that was continued under the
I
new
don't know.
administration, but I've not heard of it being canceled.
I haven't heard of it either.
What I'll do is I will call someone at the Semmes library to verify that,
I'll check
and then.
with our staff tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Well, the city also used to do the grounds there. Did the city still do the grounds?
Yes.
So there's a number of
Yep.
things that are being done.
Okay.
And the sign out
I
front.
mean, it might just be
is
silly, but
city.
that
No.
statement bothered me.
Right, no.
That
we
it's
do
in
it
our
separate.
community and and it's saying in our plan that we're not offering any funding at all
Yeah.
does not sound like my community to me.
Right.
And honestly, and I was just going by the survey, we don't even have to, we can just talk about what you do provide. Like,
Yeah.
we don't have to say, you know, we can just list what you do, you
That
know.
would be better.
Or you can put that it's, you know, it's ran by Mobile County.
Right, but not that
Semmes
it's
provides,
funded.
you know,
Yeah.
you don't have to talk about the
Yeah.
funding on it. But it's a service that is provided to our community, so it
Right.
should be in our,
Exactly.
in our vote.
Okay. The last one that I have listed is the senior center.
The square footage on the senior center, does that include the new addition they put on
I'm
Probably
not sure. It was 2,300 additional feet.
I don't
square
think
feet
it's
to
in
rent
there.
to.
I bet you it's not in there.
So this number should be more.
Probably. We need to verify that. I wonder if somebody there, Linda would know that.
They would.
Jeffrey, can you make a note that we'll call Linda? Call somebody over there. And I don't know, we got some other, the mayor's got some other things in the works of, things that we're gonna try to take over from the county that
Mhm.
may happen pretty soon, so that might be some other things that we can put in here.
Okay. Yeah, I was asking, Jeffrey about the Boys and Girls Club, and I thought about the, recreational center in this way. So if there's anything that you feel like is an asset or that you use, but is not within the city limits, or like you said, could be annexed in before or during the, you know, extent of this.
Yeah, the
plan.
community center would be, I mean, it's probably not well used, but it's still, it's a place that's, here in the jurisdiction.
Right.
You know, that we could, it's part of, it's kind of a service, I think. And we don't talk about the, you know, the ball fields out there either, I don't know if that needs to be in there. It's not really a city-owned facility or I think it's a board run, but it's on school board property, but it's still in our community.
Right.
But it's got, football, Little League, baseball, Babe Ruth, and girls softball.
Mhm. And we're also.
There's
gonna-
soccer fields out there now too, or is that MGM?
I don't know. Oh, that's MGM.
It's, yeah, it's on Jim's property.
I was also gonna highlight Big Creek Lake.
And what about the new county park at Escataba? We're not far from
That's- that's
it.
getting it.
Oh,
No.
no, I was just
Okay.
saying,
Yeah.
I was gonna highlight Big Creek Lake,
That's
and
gonna
we
be
don't
a
know
nice
if that's
road,
gonna
but
be in your regional setting with the wetlands and all that stuff, but it needs to be highlighted as well,
Yeah.
even though it's not, you know, within the city limits, that needs to be highlighted as a, you know,
We still associate with it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
close.
I don't know if we expanded quite that far.
I wish
It's gonna
we
be a
could.
nice, it's
I
gonna be
wish
a
we
nice
could.
facility and we're gonna be the largest municipality within
Yeah.
tossing a
Closest, yeah.
stone's throw
Right.
to it.
You talking about on the Escataba?
Yeah, I'm talking about on the Escatop. And I know they're gonna phase it in, it's not gonna jump up there automatically, but the plans look exciting.
It is really, I can't wait to check it out.
I know.
Yeah, I remember the mayor went over at the, was it the city, the breakfast we went to?
Yeah.
And talked about it, and I think Connie Hudson talked about it, yeah, really nice. They're actually gonna put it on some map, if I remember right, so it's actually gonna bring more traffic through Semmes to get there.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the wording was or how they said about it, some campsite, cause they're gonna have campsites and public recreation and stuff like that.
She told us that, I think that they acquired another 80 acres around that
Yeah.
property to do more.
Did they ever get that one lot they were,
I don't know.
that was holding out?
I'm not sure.
She was so frustrated over that. She's like, there's just one lot.
You know, it seemed like she did get it. Yeah, that's gonna be a pretty cool place.
Okay, any other comments, questions, concerns?
I don't think so. You might want to tell them we're gonna meet the department heads.
Yes, department heads, we're looking to meet, did we verify?
Yeah, I've
Good?
heard back from like half of them.
Okay,
So-
May 19th, we'll be meeting with department heads, showing them the same document. I may be able to get some of these revisions in before we talk to them, but just to get their feedback as well. So we will be getting, kind of some feedback there, so we're working hard. Just make sure that you're, keeping track of your time.
Anytime y'all spent looking over this
Anytime.
outside of here, shoot me an email
Yes.
or call me, whatever.
Yes. The last thing, and this may need to come from the mayor, I didn't know, and we haven't decided if the plan is gonna be named, if the document's gonna be named. If it's just gonna be Semmes Comp Plan.
We talked about that with him, but I can't remember what he said.
I know Daphne's working on theirs, theirs is Envision 2040, some
Yeah.
people have Imagine whatever city, or, I think.
Yeah, let's bring that up.
Yeah, so something, and lots of people just go with whomever comprehensive plan, if that's what you wanna do, but we just kinda wanna know moving forward how to kinda address it. That's all, yes, sir.
I want you to know we really appreciate how much hard work you put into it.
Thank you so much.
Makes our job a lot easier.
Thank you, I'm enjoying working on it, honestly. It's been fun, it's a lot of work, but it's been fun.
And we also have the first national cheerleading championship since 2009. If it matters.
Where at? Where at?
Semmes Middle School.
Good.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. I don't know if
Yep.
it matters or not. But I think
Saw
it was
them
2009.
downtown.
Yeah, they were they were at the commission's office
They had a
yesterday.
plaque.
Yeah, they were downtown yesterday. The mayor's done something for them. Actually, the mayor donated some, I think, cheerleading pads for the gym, so they don't have to do them on the gym floor. So, actually done very well. Very well. Were you down there yesterday for the?
I caught it online, I wasn't down there, but I was proud of them,
Yeah, my
for sure.
stepdaughter's one of the cheerleaders at Semmes Middle School. She's going to NGO.
Well, everybody's so upset over the principal leaving, you can't concentrate on nothing else.
Oh, so the NGO principal's leaving? I didn't know that.
He is? I didn't know that.
He announced it.
He's being advanced.
He's going to central office.
Yeah. Is he?
Well, the cheer coach, Coach Evans, is going to central office too.
Really?
Yeah, from
I
Semmes Middle
really
School.
prayed that would not happen.
She's got a
Me too.
doctorate in something.
He's
She's
good.
got some
He is
education
good. I like
in
Fred.
office, yeah.
This apparently wasn't his first time being solicited for the job, so. Maybe they made it.
What's his position gonna be up there?
Bring Mr. Ellison over there, straighten him up.
Well, change is scary. When you got somebody good, you don't want to, I'm like, hey, can we supplement his salary out here?
Exactly. Get a booster club?
I realize he's looking for, at Social Security, we can supplement that out here.
Okay, well, is there anything else, any other comments or any other business that we need to handle? Okay, well, with that, is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Mr. Lowry,
Second.
second.
Third.
Third. We are adjourned at 5:46 p.m. Thanks, everybody. It was
Thank
a
you.
good meeting, and
Yeah.
thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
A lot accomplished.
Oh. Are you a teacher again?
No.